Hi folks, hope you're all keeping well and getting on alright working from home. Well done to everyone who managed to submit assignments last week. There was some great pieces of work handed in. This week you will notice that you have been added to a new team. Last week there was a bit of confusion having all the first year in one science team, so we've decided to create a team for each first year science class so that you all know exactly what work is for you. This week we will be starting the next topic in the S1 Science course, which we would be moving on to if we were in class. This is a chemistry topic which is called Elements and the Periodic Table. All of the work for this week will be based on finding out what an element is and how to find information using a periodic table. So what will happen is that on a Monday I will upload a checklist of tasks like this one for you to complete that week. You should aim to complete these tasks during the 3 periods that you would normally have science. It's not expected that you will complete all of the science tasks in one day. You should work on it at different times throughout the week until you complete all tasks on the checklist, the same way that would normally happen if you were in school. If you're not always able to do the work at the times you would normally have science, don't worry. We know there might be circumstances when you may not have access to a computer or to another digital device during the day or for the whole day. So by giving you a checklist of tasks, it means you can complete the work at your own pace. If you try to follow your timetable, it helps you to manage your time, because what we don't want is anybody up late at any night during doing schoolwork. If you have any questions at any time, post them onto the class teams page. If you're watching this video, you're already doing the first task for the week, so well done. The first task is to watch this video. You can click on the link at the top of the checklist if you want to watch it again. All the work this week is on elements and the periodic table, so you will see here from our success criteria that by the end of the week you should all be able to tell me what is meant by an element. You should be able to explain that elements are arranged in the periodic table, and you should be able to use the periodic table to find the symbol and atomic number for some of the elements. So just now I'll give you some information in this video about elements and the periodic table. Then there's a couple of songs online that tell you the names of some of the elements to help you get started. You can find these videos by clicking on the links that you'll see in the checklist here. Next, you can find the next task in the Files tab, and I've written down how to access it from Files. When you click on Files, you should see a folder that's called Number 1 Elements and Periodic Table, and then in that there should be a file called Elements Week 1. So here you'll see some sheets with information about elements and the periodic table. Your first task is to read the information that you'll find on page 1. And what you're going to do is you'll see that there's some missing words in the passage, in the paragraphs. Your first task is to complete the paragraphs using the correct missing words. You can do this in different ways. If you want to write the missing words in your jotter or on a piece of paper, you could also copy each paragraph and fill in the missing words in your jotter or on paper. Or you could use a digital device to open this document on Word and fill in the answers by typing them in. You can save your own copy of this Word document from Teams onto your own device. Once you've completed the 3 paragraphs on page 1, you're then going to read through pages 2 and 3, which explain to you the type of information that you would find in the periodic table. The periodic table lists every element that can be found. It will tell you the name of each element, and then you will see that each element also has a symbol, which is a shorthand way of writing down the name of the element. The example here, we've got silicon, and instead of writing down the full word silicon, we can use this symbol here, which is capital S, small I. Each element in the periodic table also has its own number, and this is called the atomic number. Some periodic tables also have another number, which is called the atomic mass, but we won't need that piece of information at the moment. If we use symbols, it means we don't have to write out the full name of every element. The symbols that are used are a kind of code for scientists, so the names don't have to be written fully. This page tells you where some of the element symbols come from. It's easy to work out where some symbols come from. For example, nitrogen has the symbol N because that's the first letter of its name. Carbon has the symbol C for the same reason. Some elements, like calcium, use the first 2 letters of the element name. And you'll also notice that that's where the symbol for silicon comes from. It's just the first 2 letters of the name silicon. Some of the symbols are a bit more unusual. For example, iron has the symbol Fe. Gold has the symbol Au. If you go to the Files tab, you'll find a copy of the periodic table showing every element with the name, symbol and atomic number. There's different versions that you'll find online. This one that you'll find in Files is clear and it's easy to find the information for some of the elements. An easy example is this box here, where you'll find oxygen. Oxygen has the symbol O, and that's obvious because it's the first letter of its name. And it also has the atomic number of 8, which you'll find in the corner of the box. Another one, just to show you quickly, is hydrogen, which you'll find at the top left. Hydrogen has the symbol H, and its atomic number is number 1. You're not expected to learn or memorise the whole periodic table. What you should be able to do is use it to find information on some of the elements that are listed. The next task will help you practice using the periodic table. So once you've completed the notes on page 1, the next task is on page 4 of the same document we were just on. What you'll find on page 4 is a table. It's got a selection of elements, and what you're going to do is you're going to use your periodic table to fill out the first 2 columns in the table. You're going to find the symbol and atomic number for each element on the list. This will help you get used to using the periodic table and to become familiar with some of the element names you will have heard, because some of the elements you won't have heard of before. There's also an extension task, which is to fill out the third column of the table. Your periodic table won't tell you if the element is a metal or a non-metal, but you can have a look online to see if you can find this information. And if you can add it to the last column of the table. Again, with this task, you can complete this on paper or in your jotter by drawing a table and writing the names, symbols, and atomic numbers. Or you can save a copy of this Word document on your own digital device and type in the answers. When you've completed the tasks on these sheets, the next task from the checklist can also be found in Files. You're looking for the document that's called Elements Worksheet. These will give you some more practice on finding information from a periodic table. It's hopefully a wee bit of fun to work your way through each of the puzzles that you'll see on the sheets. The first puzzle is to work out the name of the element, which is named after each of the places that you see on the list. You're going to look at the periodic table and try to work out which element name looks and sounds like it could be named after each place. So for example, which element looks or sounds like it could be named after France? For this one, the answer would be francium or francium. Next is looking for some of the elements that are named after planets. And again, you're going to find the name of the element using the periodic table. The next puzzle is to work out which elements are named after scientists. Now for this one, you want to focus on the surnames. And a good clue is that a lot of the elements you'll find end in IUM. And this will help you work out the elements that are named after the scientists. If you look at the surnames and look for elements that end in IUM. These sheets are American made. So for this one here, for example, what element has the same name as one of our coins? Because it's American, the answer for that one would be nickel. Further down, you'll see a task similar to the one that you completed earlier, where you have to match the name and symbol. Now this task here is sort of split into two. So if I just draw a line down there, you'll see that the column on the left, you're trying to match up the element name with the symbol. Okay, earlier we found that hydrogen has got the symbol H. So we would just fill in the symbol in that box beside hydrogen. Oxygen has the symbol O, so that would go beside oxygen there. Nitrogen would have the symbol N, so that would go there. So you're just filling in the symbol that matches the element name. On the right hand side, we're doing the opposite. We're trying to find which element has each of the symbols in the list. So we find Cl in the periodic table, and that matches with chlorine. The next one down is Cu. The name of the element with that symbol is copper. So we can write copper's name in that space in the table. You can then work your way through the rest by finding the symbols in the periodic table and then writing down the name of the element beside each one. Some of the puzzles are easier for you to work out than others. You don't have to do them in the order they appear on the sheets. It is a lot, so don't worry if you can't complete each one of the tasks. It's just a bit of fun to help you try to practice using the periodic table. And the final task of the week will be a quiz. This will be added to the assignments tab on Teams later in the week, after everyone has had a chance to work through the other tasks first. Make sure you try the other tasks first. There's no point in quickly looking at some of the information, then trying the assignment quiz straight away and getting a low score. Complete the other tasks first as best you can. All the tasks on this checklist should be completed by Sunday night so that you're ready for the work that will be given out next Monday. If you're stuck with anything, ask on Teams, or you can email me if you don't want to post onto the Teams page. Good luck with the work, and I'll speak to you all soon.